On your whiteboard, what are my two areas and what do they do? No, areas. Areas. There's two of them. Good. Come on, come on, come on. Good. What do we got, Bailey?
Broca's area and we're in Nikki's area.
Perfect. What does Broca's areas do, Bailey?
Language creation.
Okay, and what is Wernicke?
Language comprehension.
Very nice. Broca, broken jaw. If your jaw is broken, you can't make language, physically create language. Wernicke, what? Language comprehension. If you don't know what what you just heard, you say what? Okay. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is. Please tell me what is located just above the medulla and right below the limbic system. What is located just above the medulla? Okay, and it's involved in sleeping and left and right body coordination. Good. What is it, Josh? Pons. All right, guys. So yesterday we left off talking about. We got through the limbic system, of course. Hypothalamus, hippocampus, amygdala, all that. We started talking about our cortex, correct? Okay, who can tell me what is corticalization? What is corticalization? Aaron. Okay, it is the wrinkles on your brain. And why do we have wrinkles on our brain? Aaron. Don't you dare tell me because it's wet. It does process information, but it doesn't need to be wrinkled to process information. Why does it need to be wrinkled, Brogan? What the hell was that? Brogan.
Surface area.
Surface area. The more wrinkles, crevices, all that stuff, increases the surface area, which means more neurons can fire in a much more effective way. All right, so our brain is divided up into two hemispheres, left and right hemisphere. Did we start talking about my drawing yesterday?
Yes.
Perfect. So we understand that the left brain deals with linear, logic, and language. Your right hemisphere deals with all the other crap, specifically all of your creativity and all that stuff. Yes? Okay, we talked about how the left side of your brain controls the right side. Yes?
Yes.
And that the right side of the brain controls the left side. It's complete opposite. Your body processes information more effectively in reverse. Your brain does. Your eyes, next week when we talk about how we see, the retina sends information to your brain upside down. It's your brain who flips it over, and that's why you see me with my feet down there, not my feet up there. Okay? That is how our brain processes information. So, we're going to meet a guy named Joe right now. Now, Joe is awesome. He also has excellent fashion sense. Okay? This video clip is really old, but it's a good one. So, as I do video clips, I have tons of video clips. I will be showing them throughout the entire year. Every single one of them serves a purpose. They are usually short. I think the longest one I show you is like 12 minutes. I always stop, we go over and go back and forth. This video clip is 3 questions on your test on video. Okay, so this is Joe. We're going to stop and we're going to talk about it as we go.
Number of activities outside of our conscious awareness.
All right.
I know the left hemisphere and right hemisphere now are working independent of each other, but you don't notice it. Now, you just kind of adapt to it. It doesn't, you don't have any feeling, it doesn't feel any different than it did before.
7 years ago, Joe had brain surgery to allay the effects of severe epilepsy. His surgeon cut the nerve fibers connecting his left hemisphere with his right. While the operation was a complete success, Joe's unusual case offers an extraordinary insight into the machinery of mind.
So it hasn't really made any...
This fiber system, the corpus callosum, is located midway between the two hemispheres. When it was surgically severed in Joe's brain, the transmission of information between the two hemispheres was halted. Michael Gazzaniga.
What we can do is play tricks by putting information into his disconnected, mute, non-talking right hemisphere and watch it produce behaviors. And out of that, we can really see that there is, in fact, a reason to believe that there's all kinds of complex processes going on outside of his conscious awareness of his left half brain. Joe, I'm going to show you some things. I just want you to tell me what you see. And here we go. You ready? Look right at the dot.
Okay. So what has happened? He had brain surgery. He was having seizures. In order to stop him from seizing, they cut his corpus callosum, which is the connection. You saw that in the awesome graphic we showed you, correct? It's a really great graphic. All right, so what we call this experiment is called a split brain experiment. It's only done in severe cases. Once it's done, or case study, we then kind of play games with it. So this is what my man Joe is looking at. So what I want you to do is I want you to stare at the dot. Stare at the dot. Okay, stare pretty intently because I want you to see what he's seeing. So if you stare at the dot, you will notice the word cars in your peripheral. You can see it, but it's not in super clear focus. Can we agree? Only really one of your eyes can see it, not both eyes, yes? Everyone's there? So if you stare at the dot, you see words in peripheral. Now this is the left side, this is the right side. So if you're staring at the dot, the word car is on the left side, yes? Right side. Right side, sorry. I got my left and right confused. It's on the right side, so it is going to what hemisphere of the brain? Left. Remember, anytime your brain processes information, it switches sides. So if it is on the right, it is going to the left hemisphere. If it is on the left, it is going to the right. Okay, everyone's clear on that, yes? Perfect. Oh.
Okay, right. Okay, you ready? Right at the dot. Grapes. Good. When Joe focuses on a point, right at the dot, everything to the right of the point goes to his left brain, the dominant hemisphere for language and speech. Right at the dot. So we can see here that when we flash a word or a picture, Joe is easily able to name it. There we go.
See it.
Close your eyes and let your left hand do a little work here. Okay, what do you got there?
Pan.
Okay, very good. Now, when a word or a picture falls to...
Okay, let's just live that again, please, because your lack of impress of how cool that is an issue, because it's awesome. All right, you've seen it? Oh, I don't care about you. Okay, so here's your dot. You're focusing on the dot. If you're focusing on the dot, pan, the word pan is on what side of the dot? Left. So it's going to what side of the brain? Right. Right. If it's going to the right side of the brain, can you make language?
No.
You can't make language. So when he's asked what he saw, can he answer it?
No.
But he can draw with what hand?
With his left hand.
If it's on the left, with his left hand, he can draw it. Because remember, the right side of the brain controls the left. He can only draw it with his left hand. He cannot verbalize the word because it's stuck on the wrong side of the brain. So he sees the word pan, and it's going to his right side of the brain. Since his corpus callosum is cut, the right side of the brain can't tell the left. They're like, it's pan, it's pan, it's pan. They can't, nothing. It's just sitting there saying pan, 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 pan. And the man's like, I don't know. Okay? So he's like freaking out because in his head he knows it's a pan, but he can't express it because the corpus callosum is cut. However, because it's sitting on the right brain, with his left hand, he can draw it. He cannot verbalize the word pan because it's on the wrong side of his brain. Hold on. Yeah, watch it one more time and I'll answer every question you have, okay? So, it is on the right side of the dot, which, no, it's on the left side. I have left and right problems. Left side of the dot is going, I always have to go like this. If you're looking, I'm like, left. Left side of the dot is going to the right side of the brain. Watch it one more time and I'll explain answer every question.
See it.
Close your eyes and let your left hand do a little work here.
Look at his genuine surprise with what he draws.
Okay, what do you got there?
Pan.
Okay, very good. Now, when a word or a picture falls to the left of a fixation point, that information goes to his disconnected right half brain. And as we can see here, Joe is unable to name it. Joe is able to draw the picture with his left hand, the left hand getting its major control from the right half brain. What'd you draw?
Okay.
What'd you see?
Wheel on one side.
He saw the wheel, but with his left hand, he draws the car. That is so cool. Yes.
Okay, so if he drew it with his right hand.
He would draw. Okay, so the last example that they were just talking about, which is why he's drawing a car, is this is what he is shown. They show it really quickly. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you have a car. So the left side car is going to what side of the brain?
Right.
The tire is going on the right side. It's going to the
Left.
So he can verbalize which of the two? He can verbalize tire because it's on one hemisphere.
Left.
Left. He can draw the car with what hand?
Left.
Left. Because it's on his right brain.
So he sees like both objects, but he can't like say that he sees the
Can't-
one on the
yes.
So he like processes it but doesn't quite process it.
He
fully?
processes it in two separate places, but they're not allowed to communicate. So it's like two separate events that are happening at the same time. That is not always the case, though, because I don't know about you, I don't live my life in the peripheral. I'm not like staring ahead and seeing things over here and seeing things over there and not looking at things. So if he's living life, does he have that many issues? No, because if Lily's talking to me, I'm like, hello, Lily. Okay, maybe not that intense, that's really creepy, but she has my full focus. It's only when we try to separate their attention that we can really separate the two, which is why we have them focus on the dots and show. Does that answer your question?
So if he tried to draw the pan with his right hand,
No, he wouldn't be able to do it because he didn't see it on his left brain. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. It's so cool, though. Yes.
What if he saw the word, like a word written? Could he not think of what the picture would look like of that?
No, he can. He can process information because his brain was only split later on in life, and he has understanding of it. He just can't verbalize. Like, remember, what side of the brain is Broca's area or language creation? Left. So he can literally physically can't make the word. It's like sitting in his head saying, pan, pan, say it. You know it's a pan. You know it's a pan. He's like, I can't make words. Okay? It's literally sitting in there because it's all on the left side but stuck on the right. Yes.
so would he be able to write the word but just not be able to process the word?
He would be able to write the word, he just wouldn't be able to say the word. But once he sees it,
Once he sees
with
it
both eyes, he can
yeah,
then verbalize.
okay.
Yes.
Does he kind of have like two brains like switching back and forth?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of,
That's what they
yeah.
said in the
But
book.
when you
It's
have,
like two brains.
obviously, if you have a split brain, which is very, very few cases, if you have a split brain, your left is going to dominate everything. This is the verbal side. Correct? Your right brain is not going to really, it's going to be there, it's going to be functioning and stuff like that, but you can't really do much stuff with it except if you're like drawing and painting and stuff like that. It's going to be dominated by the left. Yes.
Doesn't it also work when like you try to feel something with the hand and like it's like my mom says like ghost hand or something?
Oh, yeah, but we do that with sensation and perception. It's a little bit different. All right.
Information goes to his disconnected right half brain. And as we can see here, Joe is unable to name it. Joe is able to draw the picture with his left hand, the left hand getting its major control from the right half brain. What'd you draw?
Okay.
What'd you see?
Wheel on one side. I don't know where the sign is.
So even though he can't name it, his left hand is able to draw out the picture of the stimulus, of the picture or word that we presented to his right half brain. What did you see?
Saw a hammer.
So just close your eyes and draw with your left hand. Just let it go. It's nice. What's that?
Saw.
Yeah. What'd you see?
Hammer.
What'd you draw that for?
I don't know.
What we have with Joe is just a dramatic example of a neurologic case that really allows you.
All right, so the biggest thing that you need to understand with your cerebral hemispheres, all of us have our, unless otherwise No one's ever told me they had a split brain before. So all of our hemispheres are communicating back and forth. Obviously, with a split brain, we're able to see how much we depend on our left. You need to understand your left hemisphere, linear, language, logic. All of your areas, your Broca's, your Wernicke is all on your left because it's all dealing with it. You also need to understand that your left hemisphere controls the right. Good, I got the right hand. Chucked mine out. Okay? Your left brain controls the right. Your right brain controls your left. If that's what you need for that test, you need to be able, I'm going to have an example just like you saw up there. You're going to tell me what he saw, what side of the body is processing, stuff like that. Any questions about split brain? Everyone's good? Isn't it cool? Nina?
Are you the same? Like, do you act the same and stuff? Just minus the fact that you can't.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't process information with only half your brain. You're using both your eyes. You're not focusing on one single point, so you're not dealing with things in peripheral. You're dealing with things in front of you. So you're going to kind of act the same. There's going to be a little bit of, like, weirdness because your brain's not going to be thinking as fast as ours because our corpus callosum is allowing communication. But it's not going to damage your, like, if you get, like a rail to the face and you lose your frontal lobe, then you're going to be totally different. But with a split brain, it's not too much of a difference. Yes. Unless you're trying to trick it like we are.
So if he was like driving and like a car drove past something in his peripheral, like he couldn't name what the car was or anything.
It depends on obviously what side. If you're seeing it on his left side,
like
he wouldn't be able to explain. Or with that information wouldn't even process.
Yeah.
Too is like, so yeah, it's really scary. Hopefully Joe doesn't drive. Yes.
Someone like truly put them right foot, like, he wouldn't be able to see it.
No, he wouldn't. So beat up Joe. Don't let him drive. We can beat him up and steal his lunch money. That's what we've learned right now. Perfect. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so like if you got shot in the head.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm sorry for me.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But if you got shot in your head, like in your right hemisphere, you would have any more like you couldn't be able to like think creatively or anything.
Probably not if you survived. There would be a survival factor, but if you have damage, you won't be able to.
Die?
What?
Why would you die if you got shot in your right hemisphere?
It doesn't. I mean, there was a person who there was a mass shooting some time ago, and she got hit in the brain. And
Guys, I'm dealing with like consistent behavior. I don't deal with oddities of like someone got shot in the head and they're functioning. I have some certain case studies, like my man Joe over here, but necessarily do I know everything? No. Medical magic. I don't know. Google it. Sorry, girl. What do you got?
Have you ever seen the movie 50 First Dates?
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Amnesia.
it's 10-second time like that. Could that actually happen?
No, it can't. It's an exaggeration. All right, here we go. So, your 4 lobes of the brain, you should be filling them in, by the way. First one is your occipital lobe. You need to know there's a primary visual cortex and a visual association cortex. So what happens is, please listen. Okay? Your eyes are going to process information. Next week, that's what I'll be teaching you, by the way. Ears and eyes. Okay? Your eyes process the information, the raw information, and then it gets processed into neural impulses. And that neural impulse is going to go to your occipital lobe to be processed. Once it gets into your occipital lobe to be processed, it goes into your primary visual cortex, which just takes the raw information and says, oh my God, that crazy Miss Bennett is standing in front of me again. Okay? Then the visual association, once they process the raw information to get you the gist, your visual association cortex identifies and makes sense of the visual information. Have you ever saw, like you're at, like sitting outside with friends at a table, and then you see something weird across the street, like it just catches your eye, and you're like, what the hell? And you look over, and you like see it, but you don't really see it. You're like, no way. And then you stare a little closer, and you're like, oh my God, that person is wearing a full-on pirate outfit.
That's
In
happened to me
December.
before. That's happened to me before.
Well, it's Tampa. I guess it's kind of...
No, I mean, they hopped my fence in my backyard, and I thought, like, wait, there's people outside my room, because my room's, like, right next to, like, the fence, and I'm like, wait, they're in my front yard now.
There you go. So that would be the primary visual cortex is like, wait, what? And then your visual association is making context of what you're seeing. Everyone get it? First step, second step. Okay? Then you have your parietal lobes. Now, you all hate the parietal lobes. I don't know why you're hating on it. Okay? The parietal lobes is dealing with all of your sensation information. Sections of the brain located at the top and back of each cerebral hemisphere containing centers for touch, taste, and temperature sensations. Okay? There's a really creepy picture in your book I don't. Damn it. Okay. It's on page 75. Obviously, you're going to see it before your outline's due on Friday. Okay, this is just a cross section of what your parietal lobes look like. Okay, you have over here is where your toes get their sensation. So any information that goes from here is obviously dealing with your toes. Over here, it's your tongue, your jaw, and different sections of your parietal lobe are processing information from different parts of your body. The same thing is going to be on the mirror opposite of the motor cortex. Remember, the somatosensory cortex, which is receiving all of your afferent neurons, is immediately next door to your motor cortex. Your motor cortex is located in your frontal lobe. Now your frontal lobe, here, let me get a view of the somatosensory cortex. The somatosensory cortex is dealing with afferent neurons. Something unique about your somatosensory cortex is afferent neurons. It only deals with sensory information. So, if I hit Nina really hard, I didn't really want to hit you hard, okay? All of those sensations are going to go up to her brain. They're going to hit the thalamus. The thalamus is going to say, somatosensory cortex. And the somatosensory cortex is like, holy crap, Miss Bennett just hit me. Okay, that's what the somatosensory cortex is doing. When we were talking about afferent neurons, we were sending that information to the brain. Now we know we're sending it to the somatosensory cortex. Yes, ma'am.
So the somatosensory cortex is part of the parietal?
It is inside the parietal lobe. Yes. Would you like me to kind of chunk it out for you? Would that help?
No, I just, because on the diagram, like...
I know, it looks a little weird. Yeah,
so
because I wanted to make sure you saw it. Okay, yes. Okay, your somatosensory cortex is located in your parietal lobe. Okay, I'm coming back to you. I haven't forgotten you. Okay, your temporal lobe is next. Your temporal lobe is next to your ear. Tempo of a song, whether it's fast or slow, is your tempo. Tempo is sound. Sound is right behind your ears, your temples, tempo, okay, it's located right next to your ears, which makes sense. Your temporal lobe is dealing with all of your sounds. It's processing and language comprehension. That's where your Wernicke's area is located. Right now, your Wernicke's area is like, oh my God, what the hell is this woman saying? And it's like, oh, she's saying important stuff that's on your test on Friday. Okay? Now, inside your temporal lobe, you have your Wernicke's area. You also have your auditory cortex. Your auditory cortex is just picking up the raw sounds and saying, here you go, auditory association cortex, and then that makes sense of the information. Have you ever had someone start talking to you and you're not listening to them, and you're just like, you hear them, but you don't hear them, and you're like, what the hell? And you turn around and then you start hearing it. That information was sent to your primary auditory cortex, and then it was moved into your auditory associated cortex. That way, you can process the information you need. Okay. So, your frontal lobe. Write this down. This is what you wanted, right, Carly?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so inside your frontal lobe, you have the motor cortex and Broca's area. Why is the motor cortex located in your frontal lobe? You can raise your hand and tell me why. Quentin?
Because like, the frontal lobe has to make the decision what to do after they've seen it.
Okay, yeah, it's a process. Isabella?
Like it kind of has to do with that, but isn't the frontal lobe like what makes us human?
Yes.
So like the motor cortex are kind of mixing that.
We can type, monkeys can't, correct? We can cut out snowflakes, monkeys can't. I don't know why that was my example. I don't know where that came from, but we're going with it, yeah. Okay? We can rebuild a car, and I can't, but some people can. Okay? All those things take fine motor movements that a monkey cannot do. It has to happen in our frontal lobe. Broca's area, Broca, broken jaw, is only on the left. Why is it only on the left? Language. There you go. We'll pick up here. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed Joe. Did you?